There's two of you in it.
Is there? Should be gone
There's
now.
two Alliance crew people at the bottom of mine.
Oh well. Well, we're live anyway,
Hello.
so welcome to the
Oh, are
show.
we? Oh,
Yeah, we're live.
oh.
That big
Um,
yellow button up in the top right hand corner says live.
Oh, I hadn't seen that one. I hadn't seen that.
yeah. Well, anyway, so we'll start with Tyler. He's a noob, as you can tell. So welcome, Tyler. We've got Earth on the show with us, Panda, Ritpig, Gayboy, and Carpe Diem. So I'm gonna quickly just get the screen share up. We're not gonna piss about. We'll go straight into it. Should be able to see that, yeah?
Yellow button up in the top right hand corner.
Someone's got their YouTube on in the background as well. So, update time. It's that time of month again. We've got a new work in progress. Starts off with the Forsaken mission content drop. So it says here there's 3 new blueprints available, which is the Fallout armor, the Reaver bulkhead, and the Blaze thrower. We're going to talk about them in a minute, so I'll leave them for now. The monthly event this month is called Brimstone. Again, it's a Reaver raid. Starts on the 12th of February. It says it's going to be a tips and tricks post on the 15th, sorry, on the 5th even. Retrofit pack is a new set of R5s. We've got both variants of Interceptors, the Kodiaks and the Nighthawks. And then they add in 2 campaigns this month. The Going Rogue campaign, which is obviously where we got those 3 road crews. One normal, one rare, and one legendary, whatever they're called. And our Let It Burn campaign, where you can get that extra bit of uranium. And finally, we have the Forsaken Arena again at the end of the month. No details on that yet, so I would assume there's probably going to be a new prize, like there is always. Anything anyone wants to say about the work in progress before I move on to the update?
Well, the only thing I want to say is, we've all been saying for months and months and months that we should have raids less frequently than once a month, give people time to build stuff and things like that. And now all of a sudden we've got 2, because we've got the Forsaken Arena tournament as well. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
It feels like the tournament, obviously it lasts the same duration as a raid, doesn't it? So it pretty much feels like you're having to grind out and do a second raid every month on top of everything else. These 2 campaigns coming in every month. Not to mention if you actually want to go out and hit a base as well. There's a hell of a lot to do in the game at the moment, isn't there?
Well, I reckon, personally, right, rather than doing the raids that we've got, why can't we just have a Forsaken Arena as a raid instead? And you earn a certain amount of points in the battles fighting everybody. And then you transfer the amount of points that you've got into raid prizes.
That's a good idea, that.
To be fair, I reckon that'd be more fun than having to grind away at a raid, which gets monotonous and really boring after the first sort of 3 hours.
So
Nah,
would you
but
think
they won't do that, because then you won't be able to overpower the fleets horrendously in their favour. So
Well,
it'll be too easy then.
if they did that, they'd have to limit who gets the top prizes. Like, back in the old days where the top people in the sector would get a prize. They'd probably have to revert back to that. And I don't know if they'd be willing to do that.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, you could earn a certain amount of points for each win, couldn't you? And then transfer your points into prizes, if you like.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea, considering the fact that I'm not doing too well in the arena. It's not all that attractive. And if they did something like that, then I would definitely be employed to coin a lot more and make a better effort towards the arena.
It's not only that as well, because I mean the trouble is with the raids and stuff, it all goes down to who's got the right fleets to hit the targets. There's no real sort of strategy or anything in it. Whereas you might have the best FVF player in the world, who's like a low level player, but he's brilliant at FVF, but he can't do raids because he hasn't got the fleets. So I think it's just like a fairer way of doing it, personally.
Would you agree as well to keep the uranium insurance as well for the raid if it was in that format?
I mean, you could. I mean, no doubt you'd probably want to up it a bit so it's a bit more, or
Yeah.
But
Well, they could do that with the normal raids, couldn't they? We've got the campaigns what we have now. They could integrate some kind of insurance via uranium to repair fleets as well.
well, at the end of the day, you've still got to get that uranium, haven't you? So
Yeah. But if even just doing the missions and stuff, a lower level player will have some uranium every month from just getting these weekly missions done.
I think it's a good point, and I think it's something Kixeye should think about. But
Definitely.
that's my opinion on the matter anyway. Because raids get boring. At least if you're doing like Forsaken Arena, you're fighting different fleets all of the time and stuff like that. It'd be good fun.
Well,
Yep.
what about R5 Kodiak? Because surely that's going to be pretty awesome. I mean, they already tear apart every player versus engine aspect of the game. So do we know what's in that yet? I don't think we've seen that yet, have we?
They haven't said anything about the stats, have they, for the retrofits? I mean, we could always hazard a guess. What do you think you'll be looking at seeing with the Kodiak R5?
Well,
Increased penetrating reload.
you probably look at something similar to like the Savage, shouldn't you, really, but without the pinch effect that you get from the Savage flagship. So you're probably going to get a boost in reload and stuff like that.
Or maybe going something similar to what they did with the NCX.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it'll be like the MCX, but obviously on a larger scale.
Maybe a bit more reload, but probably, yes, normally those hulls get very similar to the limited one. What the specials stats means.
Yeah, I was thinking the same with the Kodiak and the Nighthawk. They're probably gonna bring them up to par with the Phantom and the Savage, with regards to their individual stats, just like they did with the Berserker and the Grimshine.
I think Tyler's right. I think the Kodiak's the one. I think a lot of people have got them. The Wendigo kind of killed it, but they're actually excellent for doing minis, track bases, and all the niggly stuff. So I would be interested to see what the retro pack's going to look like for that, because that could really cause some pain if they get it right and buff it against the Wendigo.
Well, one of the specials that came in this Forsaken mission maybe helps against the Wendigo now. When we get there, we can discuss that.
Cool. Anybody else want anything?
The V2C as well. The V2C's got 100% radioactive reload. So if that gets a boost up to like 150, and you put cryos on it, that's going to be even better than it is now.
Yeah, I mean they make
something to look at.
They make good fleets already with cryos on, don't they? So
what about a V2C fleet with the new thrower as well? So that could be horrendously painful. Just 150% reload on that.
To be fair, V2H as well, with full of strikes, they hurt now.
Yeah,
Especially,
they do.
Skull rank. So again, another one to watch out for that. That's a good retro pack. It could really help some players refit some fleets if we can ever dredge.
Apart from these, haven't got any of them holes. Fucking typical.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing with Kodiaks. They're a nasty fleet already. Like you said, the Wendigo has pretty much tamed them down a little bit, but I'm expecting a radiation package to come out of that. And the Nighthawks, I'm getting hammered with Nighthawks constantly with those. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of retrofit pack they have with Nighthawks.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about what kind of stats we might be looking at, and all it's led me to think is I don't think they need a retrofit. I can't think what they would put on without it being too overpowered. I don't think it really needs them any bonuses at the moment. I think it works well as it is. I don't know what you lot think about that, if you agree or not.
Well, maybe the only withdrawal they will fix is the surface time that is too long. Gives time to Javelin to shot twice at them. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that that's probably about right, really. The surface time might get cut, I think.
I suppose the question is, what would you like to see on each of those hulls if you could pick one aspect?
On an auto, see better turn.
Combat speed.
Turn speed for an auto.
Yeah, I
just
agree with
for all them.
I'm actually using thrusters on my Nighthawks at the moment, so it'd be nice to take that off and put something else on instead.
I seriously think that V2C with cryo, if that gets a reload bonus, that is going to be a horrendously nasty fleet. Because even nuke cruisers are still decent, and the V2C is obviously better than that. That retro is going to be seriously good.
The V2 is overpassing the noob cruising in all specs. If you are looking at that.
I think
Go ahead, Panda.
submerge time on a Nighthawk. If they increase that, that's deadly.
Yeah, turn speed, and I reckon cutting the surface time on the Nighthawk would, that's going to make a big difference on that. And the Kodiak, if they add some base rad defense on there.
Yeah, but if you remember, they cannot change much of them or make them better than the Phantom, because if not, then the pack doesn't work as well as before, and that's what they did last time with the Highlander and the Noob Cruise, that they couldn't make it more faster when all the other hosts were taking speed.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
wonder if they'd add Nighthawk in with that. I wonder if they'd do the Phantom and the Nighthawk at once for what you've just said.
They've got to do something, haven't they?
Because if not, you're right, they can't up the speed if not, so I reckon they will. I reckon they'll do a Phantom in with the Nighthawk retro.
And I think it's a good point, because you see a lot of people who've got Harlocks in the base, and yet the pinch drones, etc., are probably the only difference between them and the Atlas. But people forget the Atlas is eventually going to get a retro pack on it to get it to R10. So it might not be better. So
It's a hard choice. I mean, what you were saying about Atlas, obviously, it's not the same with the Phantom, is it? Because a Phantom is usually a lead, just a flagship for a fleet of Nighthawks, whereas Harlocks, you just have a fleet of Harlocks. But if your Phantom is different speeds and stuff to your Nighthawks, that's going to really mess up the fleet.
Right, should we move on then? What's next?
Just one thing, sorry. On the Forsaken Arena tournament, I'd like to see you get a bonus at the end of it for your win-loss ratio. Because the guy who won it in my sector, he had 320 wins but 211 losses. And he got the Lord of the Arena badge when his win ratio was crap. Whereas the players who've had a better kill ratio should get a better bonus at the end of it, and it should accelerate via the amount of kills you've got. So it's not just about who can play the most.
It's either that, or you lose points for even if it's just like you lose 25 points for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just similar to how you lose rank in the regular kind of arena.
That's a great idea, right?
Or like Panda was on about there, I think if you had like a points multiplier or something compared to what your win-loss ratio is, that would be a lot better than what they've got now.
Yeah, then the real lords of the arena are found, so to speak, because I came fourth in mine, and because I only wanted to come in the top 10, but I was sat there and I had 18 losses, and everyone else around me was in like 50 plus, and it was like, how does that work? It's not really. It's just about who can battle the most. So, it'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, I agree there.
Losses only help to kill the killer strike, to remove it from you, the bonus that you're getting, but nothing else so far. So yes, I agree with you. They should do something and penalize some way the losers, because there are people that can end with 100 victories, but so many losers that you say, wow, you don't even have 10% of victories for what you have played.
No, agreed.
Right, so should we move on to the update now then? The weekly update.
Slides.
We
love slides. No.
Don't worry, we're not going to bore the
like
shit out of everybody
Rob.
like some other people.
We're not going to talk for about an hour, are we?
No, we'll make it quick, we'll make it snappy. So, the first piece of tech that we've got here, obviously the Reaver Bulkhead, new piece of slab tungsten steel as they call it. What do you guys think about this on your first impressions?
Well, when you see this bunch of armor, you only think, they say that they are going to lower repairs and build times and all that, and they bring an armor that is likely 3 times any other. I think that my English is bad, or I don't understand how they are going to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Theo, I agree with you, They're saying that they're going to reduce repair times, and then they bring out this fucking behemoth of an armor slab. But look at the armor points per ton. It's more armor points per ton than compound plate, or in fact more than any other one. So you could actually put a similar amount of armor on to what you've got already, but you'll free up more weight. I would think with the ability to put on more weapons onto your ships. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, and if you want to use it, any fleet or any ship that has a little of armor, like it could be a Stingray, if you can fit something like this, would be amazing with this boost of armor. But the problem is that they are teasing us to get more armor in our ships, and we know that is translated in more hours repairing after.
Yeah, I agree with Tito. I think personally, it could be dangerous if you can find a way of getting one. Because if you think you've got D5E, it doesn't give you much of a percentage increase on the last 2 slots. So if you take those off and lose, 4%, and put one of them on, you've got nearly 2,000 extra armor. If you put that across 4 Hellhounds in a fleet, you're in trouble. But there goes an extra, 10, 12 coins on top of that for repair?
That's what I was thinking, Panda. Similar to on the same lines as you, really. If you've got a Jug X, which, for those who don't know, I just finished my first decent base hit in the fleet.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
On my Jug X, I've got all D5E and 2 D4R. Now I'm thinking if I swap one of these off, like you say, it's probably going to cost me 3% armor, I think. But that's going to give me like an extra 4k in armor, which is really, when you consider that you're timesing that by the 84% of 8, if you've got that as a tank in against a 65, against a Drac base, you know what I mean, or even against a dredge, if that's taking the damage, that's being reduced every time a shot lands on that instead of something else. So if that can last longer, that's better in terms of repairs.
Yeah, but with just the 5Es, it's going to take you, 12 coins or 13 coins one. Imagine if you put one of those monsters on. You are talking about 15, 16. So at the end, at times, if you are a guy that cannot coin it and you want to hit as many possibles and then put the ship to repair in the dock till when it happens to be repaired, okay, but if you are a guy that uses it a lot of times, you're just getting into a huge amount of bills to repair these ships.
Well, I'm thinking about, because I've got a little bit of weight spare in my guard, I'm thinking about chucking a couple of these on my enforcers. Just to,
I think for me it depends on the build time. I mean, we don't know the build time. I don't know if any of you lot know the build time, or anyone who's watching who might be able to tell us.
I don't. I think, it'd be good on enforcers because it's reduced repairs. But I think if you're looking at something that's going to stand up against the fleets that are causing you threats right now, you have to think about putting it on your Atlas or your Harlock.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, it's a toss-up with everything in this game. You've got to think about what fleets you're going to get hit with, what's going to be best all round, really. And I think it's a case of the damage output on your Harlocks is a lot, but sticking some of this on is going to keep them alive a little bit longer. But you've got to sort of weigh it up a bit as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I'm having with this is sure that that armor points is really attractive and repair times and all that stuff too. Going back to what we were just discussing there with regards to that retrofit pack that's coming in is really throwing a lot of questions in the air as to how you're going to approach this particular this armor.
Yeah, it depends. I think it will have its uses dependent on what you want it for, but it's just another repairing. I think Tio's right. It's just another repair cost. And right now, that's the one thing everybody doesn't want.
No, and that weight is killing me too. Like 991 is like shaving quite a bit off of the fleet.
I think for tanks it's useful. I think anything other than a tank is not going to be useful. But on a tank in front of the rest of your fleet, it could come in handy. Because you want it to stay alive. The longer it can stay alive, the better. If you've got a Jug X with a decent amount of aid and a couple of them on, you're going to be taking 65s all day without a spec in front, and it's just going to be shooting that thing, and nothing's going to hit it, and when it does, it's not going to touch it.
Yeah, but you have to take in care also the armor, because this is like putting 3 armors in one single slot. If you have other armors that you can use, unless you use lower levels so you can fit it, because with high levels, if you are using one of those ships that is 8,000 or 9,000 and you start to put siege weapons or alike, you're not going to have that much room to put armors of those types. You
Don't
have
forget-
trouble at times with CP4s, for example.
But don't forget, Theo, if you are using this this new armor, you can just stick on some smaller armors like D1M, D1C, stuff like that.
Ones that
Get
still-
the percentage increase from the for the bonuses of evade and resistance.
If you're going for a missile explosive or ballistic, I agree with you, but get in mind that when you, instead of using those, you are using, for example, the radioactive, that is not always the same value, because I think that it's 10 for R4, but if you are talking R3 or R2 for the D2R, for example, the radioactive one, it doesn't give you the same value. I think it's 8 and 7 or something alike. I
Is
should
that
have to check.
radioactive? I thought that was just the evade armor. You want me to check that now? I'll have a look. But I
No,
thought it was D3 is
he is
7.5%.
He is right. It's the radioactive armor's the same. It's different value for each of them. So,
Yeah, it is.
What we'll do, we'll let Earth or Rig Pig coin it, and then you guys feedback next week how it goes.
I
Yeah.
think Earth was going to make a live video where he was going to coin a fleet just to piss off them IBP guys or whatever. So maybe you can use this Earth on that.
Yeah,
Obviously, it costs a bit more, so I think that'll be even better.
Okay.
just for a laugh, why not? I'm going to do a video of me coining a fleet, and I'm going to coin every single rank, and I'm going to make it so that the video's like 25 minutes long, just so I can piss them off.
Oh dear. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. I'm sick of looking at this piece of fucking shit slide. So Fallout armor is the next piece. What do you think about this? I think it's really good personally. I think
This is quite good for me as well, especially because nowadays many people are immigrating from javelins to executiones or other type of weapons. So ballistic is one that is not getting as aggressive when you're fighting a base. And get in mind that most of us were complaining about the Wendigo. Well, the only way you can deal with the Wendigo is that, or the shielded electronics, or use the agility system. But the problem when you were using agility system is that you were not getting that radioactive defense bonus that now you have in this one. That in a way is slightly the D5X that we know from the past without ballistic, and instead adding the radioactive, and with the max penalty weight that we have for armors, that is 14 instead of the 8% of the D5X. But it's not a bad addition if you add it with the agility system in your fleets, for example.
I agree completely there. With the agility system, it's gonna still give it the evade that it needs. It's in fact the same evade you get from reflected coating, I believe, isn't it? So you just add in the resistance to the Wendigo, which is what we need in base hitting at the moment.
Just reminds me of Compound Armor when they first released it. That was used for ages. I think this would be just like that, but in the new game with all the different types of things we've got to defend against. Really useful.
In 2 months, they'll bring out a massive new cannon. Everyone will put this in their fleets, and the new cannon that the Ravens will have will absolutely tear through your ship.
It'll have like infrared defense you'll need or something like that.
Yeah. What's the betting that it's going to take 2.5 days just to change the special?
Yeah, that's the problem. That
Yeah.
the build times normally, the newest specials are out 2 days, especially the ones that you look likely are going to be better than others. If not, check agility, reflecting coating, power cells, and alike.
I'm going to go for two days and 18 hours is what I'm going to go for as standard.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. Why is armor, armor so long on a refit and stuff, especially with the way they changed the game? It's just like, give us a break. Earth, coin that and let us know how it is as well.
I don't know if they're giving us a break. If you look at it, as we were saying, they are adding rates instead of removing them.
Yeah, I think they're winding up for the final kill.
That last armor there, I was actually looking at that too about for dredge fleets.
Yeah, I mean that could be quite good for dredge fleets as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good all-round bit of kit, really.
Yeah, you can still avoid with those javelins with the bait if you go high on a bait, as long as you don't stay there longer.
Mm.
Right, so should we move on to the throwers?
Mm-hmm.
I hate these things.
So as we know, got the blaze throwers come out, It's in the weekly now. It's got an extra range, so rather than 68, it's got a range of 80, so it outranges Gargle Fire, but the building damage is a lot lower. So,
Yeah, I think that the penalty for the extra range you get is quite huge. The only thing is that you get, because the weight difference is not that much, 20 tons, and just the 5% more extra speed is what makes it a bit more attractive, if you want to say. But so at the end, we wanted something with a bit more range to hit bases and get something that is likely the 5 part of the other one is not going to do the work, because I think that when I made numbers with the other one, you could get something like 140,000 damage points. With this one, you're going to reach 28,000. 28,000 when the base has 2 or 3 of those radioactive suppressors models is going to resist your hit, at least the first one. So it's going to make not viable to hit with these bases, especially those that start to work with models of those.
I don't know. I think for the whole unit, I've seen some V2 variants with those on, and I don't think they're very good. I think the only thing that I've seen them really effective on is Hellhounds, but again, the build time on those, it's just one of those. Is it something we're really going to need? A non-coiner is going to get to the point of building that, Tyler? Is that a weapon you see yourself using?
No.
No.
I don't think a non-coiner, as you said, Panda is ever going to build it, because they have the experience of, that the Blitz fleets normally are the ones with less life in-game, because it's very sooner that they bring something that knows them completely, because the other ones, if you work it a bit, you can do something, but when they increase the resistance of those walls is what took away SCX and Hell Strikes and Threshers in the past. They changed the wall and they killed that fleet.
Yeah.
It's the most easy one to kill.
Yeah, agreed. And if you look at the damage of all the weaponry now, it's 6-7 times higher than it was a year ago, and it just keeps getting more and more.
Yeah, rank as well, isn't he? Which is increasing the damage output massively as well on top, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and normally it's that Blitzer's fleets are not a fleet for a non-coiner, because it's a fleet that is supposed to get a lot of damage even when it reaches the oppose. And this type, I don't think that a non-coiner is going to build Hellhounds, at least not for a Blitz fleet.
Non-coiner says no. This is a non-starter for me, I think.
No, it's a Hellhound.
Yeah, but still. It's for me, it's for fleet versus fleet, and I don't actually think it's going to be that effective for it, really. I think this will get overdone pretty soon. Wouldn't surprise me if we saw a better variant of this in the next raid.
I think it's one of them prizes that when I win it, I'll just go, oh, great, and never use it. It'll just be there to look pretty in my inventory.
I mean, I'm a whale corner, and I refuse to build Hellhounds because it's just not gonna stay around long enough for it to be worth me doing it.
No,
it's insane.
No, as you pointed in the last show, I think it was you that said it. The problem is in this game is that with them wanting you to coin to get the prize in the raid, coin for building and coin for repairing, or then change that formula, or many people is going to start passing on fleets, like even the whales like you.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's actually not the best weapon for a Hellhound either. I've seen the nastiest fleet out there with Hellhounds I've seen had D92S on it. It's not even had the Magma Throwers on it. Jay saw it as well. It is just ruthless.
Is that Kellner's one?
But have you seen, I think it was Fallen and Darkness that made the video, and both are hitting, one with the Hell Strikes R10 and the other one's with the Hellhounds, and they both do the similar base, and the Hellhound is nearly trembling leaving the base, because I think has less than 25, when the Hell Strike has something likely 40% still left, and they go inside and outside, and the other one just reached the outpost.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a really good fleet of Shockwave bought Hellhounds. They actually hit me wife yesterday. They were crazy. They were. It was just like the old days of Black Rain. I mean, they was insane. Guy was only, I think, a 62 or something, and he shot the hell out of me.
Did you say shockwaves?
Yeah, the Shockwaves.
Fucking hell. I mean, I had an idea.
Honestly, mate, it was monstrous. I mean,
It was bad.
yeah, it was really bad. We was really all surprised that they didn't get him. It just, like I said, it was insane, mate. It was just mortars flying everywhere.
The skies turned black. It was unbelievable, and it was on Hell Strikes with a Grim, and it nearly got in the base. It was just unbelievable. And you know, you see a fleet and go, ha ha ha, start laughing, and then go, oh shit. As it gets further in, that was one of them moments. But that was a nasty fleet. But again, going back to the release of the Blaze Thrower, I'm never going to put it on the ship. I don't think anyone on this panel is going to put it on the ship. Result and verdict of it, shit. Just shed a tear if you win it and wait for next week.
Yeah.
No, I agree. The giant turnoff there is the damage. Sure, the range is attractive and stuff, but the damage just won't do anything.
I want to know what weapons turn rig on there.
Think it'd be decent for Fleet v Fleet though, with the combat speed boost as well.
I'm not going to be surprised if the whole thing don't turn out good eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the way that Kixeye changed the game here and there and stuff like that, I know people are going to get pissed off because they've coined Hellhounds and stuff, and you know, they're not really doing as well as what they thought they were. You know, I think Kixeye are going to try and tweak it a little bit so people aren't getting upset because they've coined the ship and literally within a week it's worthless. So, you know, I reckon there's going to be more coming through with it. But
Yeah, agreed. I think you'll see a lot more thrower classifications of weapons to put on there. I think the reason being is they haven't made the money they expected to make off the Hellhound, and now they're going to start rushing things in. I reckon that would be a raid prize, and they've released it because they haven't made the money they wanted to.
Could be, because if you take in mind that people has followed the advices we gave them, we told them don't use Magna throwers if you are going to build that fleet. You go with strike missiles or stuff like that, so you have extra range and you don't get that huge amount of damage to do the same thing that you could do with other fleets. So they bring that with extra range. Probably is the one that was using the river fleet in the last raid. That, if you remember, got more range than because it was so close to the UAVs and alike. That was 96 that we were, or 97 we were using, but the diminishing on the damage is so huge that you think twice before you add that, because with that you are not going to be able to do the bases.
Yeah, and we would, and people who watch this show will, but there's thousands of players out there that will coin it because they have no common sense, and that's how they make their extra money. And yeah, they've not made enough money off the raid. That should have been a raid prize, and they've released it too early.
I think, you know, it's got its value as an FVF weapon. If you've got some fast moving ships, you know, with some high evade on stuff, then obviously it's gonna be all right for FVF. You know, that wind up time because of the amount of salvos isn't going to be brilliant, but you know, it's going to be a pretty nasty weapon for FVF, I think. You stick it on some fast interceptor V2Cs on it, you know, it's going to rush in, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I agree there.
But
With the combat speed of 5% as well, that helps.
But the problem is that this looks like a weapon they built or created just to sell more Hellhounds. But who is going to build this in a fleet with Hellhounds? It will never have the speed, and you know that fleet versus fleet subs or anything with extra range and extra speed than you, it's going just to kite you all the time.
So
Yeah.
verdict shite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Next.
If you're going to build it on V2Cs.
If you're going to build it, just be prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because if you look, all the specials they broke in the Forsaken mission looks likely something to enhance the Hellhound even better. So you can have that agility system with a radioactive extra boost from the reflecting coating, and also don't lose that much resistance or diminishing in the normal resistance that you are still getting in bases. But for the rest, it looks likely they didn't, as you said, they didn't sell as many as they wanted, and they tried some way to make more attractive the hull. But the hull for fleet versus fleet, normally I don't like hulls for fleet versus fleet with that huge armor, because even when I win, when I get to the base and I see the bill for repairing that, I feel that it was even a draw or even I lose.
Well, just to kind of end the updates section, just got the bug fixes and tuning. I've got no desire to sit and read all this out, so I'm just going to pop into the main ones. I think the main one was really the Nighthawk. I don't know if you noticed it, but the submerge speed didn't increase, when it like it should. It says here when in a fleet with Savage Kodiak, but for me I noticed it just with my Nighthawks and Phantom. So I'm glad to see that's fixed. Obviously, this says there they've tweaked the docking action to prevent multiple docking complete pop-ups from appearing for a single fleet. I saw someone posting about that the other day, so there's that. There's nothing really that stands out, I don't think, on that bug fixes. There's just one thing that's missing, and that's the fucking Wendigo permaslow. They need to sort that out.
Yeah, I've had that again this week. It's doing my head in. Because it's not only that, you're gaining more damage as well, because it's the permanent effect of it. It's not just the permaslow, is it? It's just a permanent effect from the Wendigo, so you're actually reducing your defences as well. So you're taking more damage from it as well, so it's never a good thing. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I think that's...
Yeah, they really need to sort that out. It's really tough, to be honest.
You get it on the entry of a base, and then you just slow all the fucking way around.
Yeah, it's never good, and there's no real sort of thing that I can put my finger on as to why it's happening. It just sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's luck of the draw.
It's terrible though when you spent ages going and prepping a base, and then you go to hit it and you can't get through it because you slowed down all the time and you're getting smashed by mortars or something.
Stop whining. You sound like you should be on that Brotherhood page. Shut up.
Shut up, Tyler.
Tyler, why are you whispering me? Are you still sitting in the fucking garden?
Oh God, Rob, I wouldn't say anything. I think it's your mum's in the background waving at you.
Are you sure? Oh, you're on TV.
Hi, Rob's mum.
I've got to be quiet or I'm going to get banned from round tables.
You are? You mean your mum will ground you?
Yeah.
He keeps on waking his family up, see, so...
He's already...
he got to the garden earlier.
And Tyler, I thought we was going to cover that hole up.
There you go, it's covered.
Where was we? Oh, glitchy.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
Talk about Wendigo and that, weren't we?
You're letting us down. I thought you were good at swipes.
One thing a few people have messaged me about, I want to see what you all think. The dredges, they've been apparently a lot harder now than they were last week. I don't know if you've hit a dredge and had any experiences with them.
Do you know, I actually thought it was just me being me, but when I've been hitting them, I've been noticing a lot more damage in them as well.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I can normally clear 3 and come back with about 30%, 35% damage back. Now it's taking me right down to the limit to hit the 3 still.
Yeah, I've noticed a big difference with the dredge fleets. Where you go do 3 or 4, now I'm like bound down to about 2 and have to send my fleet back for repair.
Yeah, in the same train. I think we are all. I used to do 3 with a fleet with the Frostborn, 2 Zergs and 2 Mastodons, and this week after the second, I didn't see myself being able to do the third with what was left of armor on that fleet.
Yeah, my super dredge fleet, it does like 6 before I have to repair it. That's only doing like 3 to 4 now. So yeah, it's definitely something gone a bit wrong there. It's definitely more damage coming from it.
I think the best I can do, I can do 3 dredges now with my fleet, and that's it. But Zilla in my alliance, he's got a fleet that he can do 6 with.
Yeah, he's got the same fleet as what I've got, I think.
Yeah, I need to build one of those.
They've been asking for a dredge fleet build, haven't they? Are we doing that now, or do you want to do it on Saturday, on Friday?
And what we're going to do is we're going to go through that on Saturday. We'll put some bits and pieces together, and we'll do some bits about dredge fleets on Saturday with some builds and stuff, and we'll explain why we've got builds and stuff like that. Let's go through some tactics and bits and pieces.
Yeah, I've got some ready already.
Alright, handler, calm down.
Speak up a bit, Tyler. Can't hear you.
Tyler, speak up. Come on. And see, this is what happens before you start puberty. Right. Where's guys? I think there's one. I'm sure you've seen me, as Riot's been saying, whinging and crying about it. But has anyone noticed a difference in flags? Because it seems to vary base from base, and some, regardless of the retro, I've seen 2 flags hold out a mass fleet the other night, and I couldn't believe it with my own eyes. And then there's bases with 5 and 6 holding out, and then ones with 7 or 8 not. Riots were sculled, and obviously he was on overload, and I expected him to get 1 ship. My point was the inconsistency in the other base I'm hitting, just so he doesn't think I'm whinging.
Yeah, I think there is a definite inconsistency in the way that flags are working at the minute. I've noticed it myself. Some bases you go in and they're shooting down a massive amount of missiles. Other bases you go in and they're doing hardly anything. And out of previous experience and hitting people that I know and knowing what the setup is on their turrets, and them being exactly the same, and then one being astronomically good and one being piss poor, there's definitely something wrong there.
I just think, so we've tried everything. So we've moved them around the base, we've bunched them, we've split them up, we've staggered them, we've changed the specials on them, and dependent, same fleet every time, and dependent, it varies every time, and you can get the same. You can hit, prime example, hit the same base, flattened it before Black Tuesday, should we call it, last week, where everyone started crying, and I got the base, no problem, no danger. Hit it again last night, same base, no improvements to it, couldn't, timed out. No changes. The guy made no change.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, it's another thing like the Wendigo glitch. It's and it's in the past we've had the same issues with like hailstorms. Where hailstorms at one point they were shooting down everything, and then they weren't shooting anything down, and I think it's all pretty much the same, really. There's nothing as such in there, but they just seem to glitch out every now and then, and it varies from base to base a lot. I've seen it happen countless occasions.
Sometimes when we were designing bases, we found that when the flag is just lined with the ship that is attacking and the target is just in between, it was working better than when the flag was on one side and you were hitting a fleet that was in the other side. So probably something I like. It was not working the same way or have the same accuracy when it was something that was shooting straight to that flag or in that line, that when it was shooting something that was in the side, not in the same line of. So it could be something like that also, how you place those flags in the base.
I mean, I've messed about with mine and moved them about and stuff like that, and I haven't really seen that much difference between hits and stuff like that. But
it's really interesting. So Max as well, my alliance, he's got 7 flags. He lost half his guard to a Reaper, and the flag didn't even fire. Jay, you've had the same, and then the next hit it fires like a raging beast, and it's just like, where's the consistency on it?
Oh, I've had that plenty of times. Drives me crazy.
The toy doesn't even fire.
I think it makes a difference if you're online or offline as well. I don't know why it is or whatever, but I've noticed that they seem to fire a bit better if you're actually online getting hit, or the person that you're hitting is online
Hang on,
getting.
guys.
But I don't know. It's just,
Are we done whining about facts now? Go on,
Honestly,
finish off.
guys, speak up, mate. I can't hear.
I think
Cool.
Kane's got a hit he wants to show.
Okay. Right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure. I think we're going to leave this with a video, as always. Same time next week for the update.
yeah, same time next week.
Are
Might
we
end
doing
up
it a bit later? An
an
hour
hour
later?
later because we're probably going to try and do it an hour later next week and get the BP Prof on
Oh, yeah, cool.
show.
What's... Oh, yes. What's it? How does Fear introduce it? The price is motherfucking wrong.
Price is
Enjoy,
motherfucking
peeps.
flat.
So everybody keep going off.
Laters, guys.
I like your bass, Rob. I want to see
Yeah.
it.
Is it not
Keep it
highlighted?
fixed on you.
No, you
Yeah,
need to present it to everyone.
Oh. There we go.
You say 5, we're still on. 5 minutes later.
Talk amongst yourselves while we just sit and watch this. I love the
Alright,
way
guys.
Panda kind of ended it, and then we just sat here watching like.
Look, we're still live at the moment.
Yeah, I think the video is supposed to be going out with the video, but I'm going for a smoke. Ladies, everyone, see you again.
Bye.
Do you want me to stop broadcasting or what?
Now, I want to see it. Boys, pay attention to the bass hitting skills and how not to set up your bass defense.
It was a little bit messy, to be honest, but. I need to rank these things up when they got level 2 rank. Just took a turn for the awkward this show, hasn't it? Just sat here fucking quiet.
Who's supposed to get
Talk it goes off.
What's that, Jay?
Well, it was quite clever the way you distracted the turrets.
Yeah, the jug is any weapons on. It's only got a thud cannon on.
Not even a single missile, like the coolest one, in case you wanted to use it with another fleet, like the Mastodons.
I haven't built Mastodon, so there's no point.
Okay.
It's something that I've never got around to building, and I think I probably won't. I just can't be bothered to build them, to be honest.
So this is the second hit in the Battle Pirates Crib versus Battle Vortex. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see the
Clash of
first
the
one on the channel,
Part
guys.
two.
On the same channel this is on, Earth against Nash. This is the second one now, Pain Train against Price.
I'm about to die here, though. I was hoping I would get the Harlock. If I had a little bit more rank, I would have, but...
Yeah, that weapon is slow.
I love this one, like one missile gets through.
Price is in chat watching. Say hello to Price.
Oh, is it? Well, the main hit isn't anything special, to be honest. I still haven't refit my Kodiaks like everybody else with the strike missiles and stuff. So I just chucked a fix on that Frostburn to stick it as a decoy. And just use my Achilles Kodiaks, just 3 of them. We was debating whether to use drones as a kind of distraction, but I thought the Frostburn would be a better option with it putting out the napalm at the entrance here. So people are always saying they want to see live hits and stuff, don't they? It's not quite live, but
I like it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm just sat eating my sandwich, mate. I hate how it's in real time. I should have sped it up before. Yeah, this bit here, I was just hugging his wall there, taking it wide, just so that the Atlas here doesn't fire at me as soon as it would have done otherwise. Because then it gave me time, as you'll see in a minute, to sit and pick off the flak before I could get fired at by the Atlas. I was actually hoping I'd get retarget off the flak and get the Atlas, but obviously that never happened.
Obviously, this is actually quite a good tactic for sneaking past stuff. So just remember.
Yeah, because if I had just come through the channel normally, I would have been being fired at by that, and the flak would have had 3 flaks covering it, whereas now I've took it out first, so he only has 2. Still holding the Frostburn back. It's doing well there. It's got full D5E. This is where I was being a noob. I thought I'd target the Gargoyle, but I didn't, so I just killed the Warehouse instead.
I do believe we were shouting at you at that point, going, "What the hell are you doing, you noob?"
I was just chilling out. I was having a drink at that point.
That retargeting you were talking about there, I usually try and use some of those mines on the side for that. Save a warehouse to just kind of crawl up the channel a little bit more and then retarget it as it swings left, hits the warehouse, then the Atlas.
Now, one thing I do like about watching hits, both defensive and offensive, is learning from them. Now, what I would have done here is I probably would have sent my Frostburn up to cover those Kodiaks. As you see, I take a lot of damage from the Wendigo there. When really I should have had that. I should have had that covered with the Frostburn, I think.
I think as well, if you'd have pushed the Frostburn right into that corner in the bottom there, you probably would have had it targeting that rather than.
The fleet now is too close to the Wendigo for that Frostburn in the channel to be something like a decoy or distracting.
Alright,
Well,
guys.
the Wendigo started firing at
this
me.
has been,
So.
I meant up in the top corner. If he'd have pushed it in close in the bottom corner there, all around that top corner, it wouldn't have fired at him. Whereas it did.
Yeah.
Where the Great Hall is, you mean?
well, I think we should end it here then.
Yeah.
Not see you all next week. Battle Pirates Crib third round table now. If you want to be on, as always, let us know.
All in all, nice hit there, Rob.
Thank you. It was a bit sloppy, to be honest.
So yeah, we'll see you Friday if you can join us. Same time as usual, 3 p.m. Kickstarter time.
Bring the rum is not optional.
11 p.m. In the UK. If you're in the UK. Thank you very much for joining. We'll do some nice vids for stuff on Friday, and we shall see you then.
Also, guys, don't forget to enter the February base hit of the month. I think Payne needs to enter his hit on prize there.
Maybe.
I'm going to enter in my my Reapers, Alliance Points of Reapers video.
That was pretty cool, that one.
Alright.
I should end it then. Later, fuckers.